Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside McGonigal Hall. Kevin Kopp and Casey Addis with you here on Owls TV's live coverage of a very exciting Eagle dual meet as the Temple Owls host the University of North Carolina Tar Heels, the number 24 team in the nation. Casey, a top 25 dual meet in McGonigal Hall. As far back as our records go, this has never happened before, so we are really excited to share the stage with these two great teams here this afternoon.
This is going to be an incredible meet and really put some pressure on both teams working in the same conference to see what they can do. Both have had a great trip on the road, so we'll see what happens tonight.
And we are underway with the first vault of the afternoon, or we may be.
It's hard to say.
Yes.
Because Coach did touch her. It was only a layout. Not sure what happened there. We'll shift over to the end of that bar routine with the blindfold, double back. Small step backward, but solid start.
Well, I think we had a little bit of confusion on the timing there as Temple had not, by all accounts, finished up their touch warm-up.
A little unusual for bars to start before vault as well, but
yes.
Sure they're working through a little of the clock,
indeed.
The clock timing right now.
Well, all right. You've got all this top 25 dual meet. It's a little bit of an anticlimactic start, but we're underway, and it is a really thrilling matchup. As you said, Casey, this is Temple's first year in the Eagle, taking on the number one team in the conference right now in UNC. As we look at the first vault of the afternoon, Renee Shugman.
Yes, a nice Yurchenko layout half. Hop forward, but shows that she does have power in that, so better to hop forward than backwards. So a solid start.
So the Temple Bars lineup will be Renee Shugman, followed by Tori Edwards, Faith Leary, Caitlin Gray, and Juliana Rowland. The 4-5 spots occupied by those two University of Bridgeport transfers. And then Ariana Castrense is in the anchor spot. For UNC over on bars, Emery Summy, we picked up the very end of her routine, and then we'll have Hallie Thompson, Kate Green, Brianna Greenlow, Jamie Shearer, and Elizabeth Colton. We'll round out the UNC lineup.
In talking with Coach Denick earlier this week, she mentioned that they have beautiful lines on bars. They're excited to see what they can do because they have some great routines, good difficulty. So I know this is going to be an exciting event to watch for them as well.
We are still waiting on our opening scores and have a little bit of concern that we are not alternating routines in a true dual meet format here, and so we're going to do our best with the one camera we have at our disposal to bring you as much as we can, but
yes.
We have been put in a bit of a bad spot here. While we're watching this bar routine, we just had a vault from Temple's Tori Edwards.
And watching that shoot over on bars, a little short on her handstand in that, so it will be a deduction, but she winds up into her dismount, into that full in, was able to get that landing, had a little bit trouble in warm-up, so it was good to see her bring that to her feet. Still waiting for some scores, but as we mentioned, the vault we missed from Temple was a Yurchenko full, a little bit of a pike down, but another solid routine for Temple. Still waiting on a couple scores here, but as we get them in, we will be sure to report.
And so we are 2 vaults and 2 bars rotations, or 2 routines down. And we are looking for Temple right now on vault. That is Faith Leary. And a good sign for Temple on this event to have someone with Leary's capabilities third in your lineup. Here she goes.
That shows they are stacked this year. That was a very high, great distance from the vault on that Yurchenko full. Very slight pike down with that hop, but definitely the strongest of the first three so far. So good sign as they build that lineup. UNC getting ready for their third gymnast in line. Looking at Kate Green here on uneven bars coming up.
So we're getting some scores trickling in here, and as Casey said, we'll get our heads on straight here. There's always a curveball or two to come your way, and right now the opening scores for UNC on bars were a 9.675 from Emery Summy and a 9.7 from Hallie Thompson.
And into this next routine, a nice blind full into Tkachev. Nice handstand to bail the handstand. Beautiful form throughout this routine. She winds up for this dismount. A nice full out, stuck dismount. Very nice routine, especially coming off of a little bit of a struggle on that second routine. So definitely what UNC was looking for to pick up their score.
We have a conversation going on over on vault between the two judges, so that gives us a moment to catch our breath here and get resettled for you. Vault scores for Temple. Renee Shugman had a 9.675. Tori Edwards followed with a 9.75. That matches her season high. Judges right now are talking about Faith Leary's vault, and they seem to have finished their deliberation. We'll get a score there soon. As we reported, UNC started with a 9.675, then a 9.7. From Emery Summy and Hallie Thompson, and we are getting the scores for Kate Green momentarily. So you're looking at Caitlin Gray over on vault for Temple, and Caitlin Gray and the vaulter behind her in the lineup, Juliana Rowland. What a difference these two have made coming in from the University of Bridgeport. They have been in lineups. They have been contributing huge scores in their first season here for Temple.
Yeah, and Josh put it really well when he said, you take a transfer, you can't always be sure of what's going to come. A new year, new school, and they have made an impact on this team right away. So he is thrilled. They have exceeded his expectations, and they have become leaders in the gym. So definitely what he was looking for out of taking two transfers. She heads into her Yurchenko full, doing it onto an 8-incher, so she has some power, but that form was impeccable and a very solid landing. So that should be a great score for Temple.
And behind her, we have Juliana Rowland, who just tied the Temple program record with a 9.9 on vault last week. So the table, no pun intended, is set for her again to do the same thing, following a couple of good vaults, including that one there from Caitlin Gray. Back over to bars. It appears that the score for Kate Green was a 9.85, so that'll be the high score of the afternoon so far for either side, and we are getting ready to watch the William and Mary transfer, Brianna Greenlow, compete fourth on bars for UNC.
I'm excited to see this routine. Coach mentioned her dismount being that double Arabian, something very unique in college gymnastics, so definitely what she mentioned about some great skills that they have on bars. Starts with a nice toe-on, toe-off Ginger right into that bail. Very nice flow. Rounding out for her dismount. Raven double front, slight hop forward, but on and off those bars quick. Not a lot of deductions there, so that's a great routine.
And we get ready to go back over to vault. Again, she is fresh off of tying the all-time program record, Juliana Rowland.
Gosh, and you can definitely see why. A little bit too much power there, but my goodness, the height and the distance she gets from the vault. So that's going to be a bit of a deduction there with a pretty big hop back, some shuffles there depending on where they count her saluting. So will not match last week most likely, but as you can see, a beautiful vault that they are going to have great success with in this lineup.
Yeah, Temple had been building their scores really nicely. 9.775 for Faith Leary, 9.825, new season best score for Caitlin Gray, and yeah, just a little too much there from Juliana Rowland, so won't quite match that height. One more for Temple, and that is Ariana Castrense. A pretty loaded vault lineup for Temple. The Owls are ranked 32nd in the nation in this discipline. It is their second best event behind floor.
They do keep getting better and better on this event, more consistent, working on those landings, but definitely a stacked set, all except one doing that Yurchenko full, and some with the capacity to do more, so that's great to see.
Score for Brianna Greenlow was a 9.725, and up fifth on bars for UNC is Jamie Shearer.
Beautiful handstand to start. Into a huge Ginger. Unfortunately, right into that bail, misses that a little bit and has to drag the feet. But coming off that sky-high Ginger, Jaeger. Into a double layout. Unfortunate, that was a very smooth routine, just couldn't quite get that transition. But overall, definitely a good bar routine for the team, but they'll hopefully drop that score today.
And if you caught it in the back of your screen there, we zoomed out to get you Ariana Castrense's vault. Again, another Yurchenko layout full on the 8-incher. She will do a double eventually, and it's just a matter of when. She's still coming back off of that long layoff. She had about 6 months without being able to get into a gym and train. It's a story that's pretty familiar across the country, and so they're still working her back slowly but surely. But that was, I think, one of her best Yurchenko fulls of the year, and shows you she's got the power. When it's time to upgrade, she'll be good to go.
Oh yeah, because the issue for her when she does that full is having too much power. So when she's performing that full, she's working to get it underway. But yes, when she performs that double full, it is pretty impressive.
Juliana Rowland had a 9.725 on those couple of steps back on the landing, and there is Taylor Newland, who will be exhibitioning on vault. Looks like a 9.65 for Jamie Shearer. Here's the exhibition vault for Taylor Newland.
Right, she has some good power coming off of that vault. It almost looked like she second-guessed herself a little with that form in the air, kind of piking down. Didn't look like she needed to, but to see that, Temple has in their 6th, 7th spot, they have some depth on vault. They're able to have other fulls in the lineup if needed, so that's great to see.
And now we will get back over to bars.
Beautiful Stalder into Tkachev. Hits that handstand nicely into the bail. Unfortunately, comes off almost too perfect where she ended up arching her back, falling over on the other side. Looking to finish up this routine with the made landing. Nice handstand to finish. Winding up into that full in dismount, gets it to her feet, but definitely not the bar lineup that UNC was looking to start with. A couple issues just here and there. So they're definitely going to want to pick it up as they head into vault.
Yeah, and in the 5 and 6 spots too. And you've got two really great bars workers. You've got Jamie Shearer and Elizabeth Colton, who are both capable of being in that 9.8, 9.9 range. And unfortunately, like you said, they were hoping to maybe drop that 9.65, which was the score for Shearer. Unable to do so with having to take that fall from Colton. That'll be the score that drops, and they will count the 9.65. So they will be unable to improve on their 48.6 in the opening rotation by our unofficial count. Temple opens with their season high score on vault, a 48.950, helped out by a new season best and tying her career best score, Ariana Castrense, 9.875 with that big Yurchenko full, stuck landing and great routine.
Yeah, no, that's great start for Temple, especially as they are slowly but surely working to creep into that 49 range in vault, which is clearly within their reach. If they had some of their better landings tonight, they absolutely would have. but definitely good to see the potential that they have there and that they'll be using.
Yeah, and the big conversation for Temple is going to be bars, because this has been the event that they'll rotate to next that has been their bugaboo this year. They have counted a number of falls on bars, and they have really worked that intensively. And so I think the second rotation is going to tell us a lot. Temple has certainly set the table for themselves to be in position where they want to be, but now they're going to have some work to do to go out and try to continue that.
Yes, should be heading in mentally strong and feeling good about themselves.
So we have an exhibition bars routine for UNC before we take our first break of the afternoon.
And a nice blind half to Jaeger right into that bail. Finishes with a handstand a tiny bit short, winding up for her dismount. Double layout, a little bit of form in the air, let go a little bit early, but it was able to pull it to her feet and get a nice landing.
All right, one rotation is in the books here in McGonigal Hall, and Temple has the lead over number 24 UNC at home. Temple 48-950, UNC a 48-6 on bars. We will step away for a break. When we come back, we will switch as UNC moves over to vault. Temple to bars in rotation 2 coming up after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp, Casey Addis with you here on Owls TV. One rotation is in the books, and it is Temple in the lead, 48-950, season best score on vault. UNC opened with a 48-6, got off to a promising start on bars, and had a little bit of struggles in the back half of their lineup. So North Carolina will try to make up some ground here as they go to vault. Temple goes to bars, and Casey, I think that's where our conversation has to begin. Bars has been a real problem spot for Temple this year. They are ranked 46th in the country on this event. It is their weakest event, and it's just been one of those things, and having been a gymnast, you just have those events sometimes where just, despite all the talent they feel like they have on this rotation, it just has not come together for them consistently.
That is very true, and Coach Josh Nelson has mentioned that a lot of it, he thinks, comes from a little bit of that mental toughness, that mental strength, so he's been really working on that in the gym with pressure sets, things like that. But it's true, if they have one person that gets a little bit of a bumpy start on bars, it can kind of trickle down. So they are looking to get a strong, confident start, especially coming off of vault being a good event. So they're looking to hit these routines and sort of make up for some of the issues in their last couple of meets.
Yeah, worth noting as well that statistically vault has been UNC's weakest event. So both of these teams trying to have a solid hit in rotation 2 and set themselves up for beam and floor where they're both a bit more comfortable. And as we found out the hard way in rotation 1, looks like we're just gonna run it today. First up is ready to go, and we're going to move over to bars and start with Temple's Jordan Oster back in the top lineup. As you see in the back of your screen, Elizabeth Colton starting off on vault.
Yep, a little bit of a pike down on vault. We've got Jordan over on bars, finishing out a nice routine. She had her Dakachev into her release, winding up for her dismount, blind full to double back. Nice landing, nice start for Temple. UNC is going to look to build in their lineup a little bit on vault. Coach Denick mentioning that their 4-5-6 spot are the strong, strong gymnasts for them on this event, so they're going to keep building on those scores.
Yeah, and interestingly, they've taken that typical 4-5-6, which is Drew Aldridge, Emery Summy, and Hallie Thompson. They've moved them up to 3-4-5, and they've slotted Shaylin St. Bryson at that 6 spot, probably to protect her in the order a little bit, get 5 hit vaults in front of her, maybe take some pressure off, and let Shaylin try to go out and hit one there in the 6 spot. So we'll see how that works out for UNC. Remember also, this is the second of a road weekend. UNC has been road warriors. They left North Carolina on Thursday. Remember all the snow and inclement weather that was up here in the Northeast? Yeah. Well, they drove right into it. They competed at Towson on Friday, then were here yesterday and are competing here today, and they've got a bus back to Chapel Hill later this evening. So that's a really tough double weekend on the road.
Yes, and speaking from a gymnast who was not a fan of dual meet weekends, it is draining, it's exhausting, and the nerves just remain throughout the whole weekend. So it's tough, and it can be really mentally draining on the gymnasts. So, they are holding out strong here. They had a good meet on Friday, so I'm sure they're looking to continue that streak here, but I'm sure they'll make a couple switches in the lineup to, yes, protect some of the gymnasts, give them a break, and see what happens.
All right, after an opening 9.65 for Jordan Oster on bars, we have Serena Whalen, and coming in the back of your screen on vault will be Sophie Silverstein.
For vault, we've got Yurchenko half, a little bit of a sloppy start, a little bit of that bent knees on the landing, but made it to her feet, which is important. Temple winding up for that dismount. Nice full in, held on a little bit longer, but was able to pull it out really nicely. Small little step, so another made routine for Temple, which is definitely what they're looking for.
Excuse my error, Oster had a 9.625. Colton for vault, or for UNC on vault, started with a 9.65. What we really need, Casey, is we need a good judges deliberation to get us off schedule again so that these two routines start alternating instead of going at the same time. Right now we're in lockstep.
Yes, just like when you have tri-meets, you've got a lot going on, but when both two teams are going at the same time, can definitely be tough, and you don't want to miss anything too good.
Yeah, we were so looking forward to a dual meet in here to be able to just have all eyes on one routine, and sometimes the best laid plans.
We just love a challenge over here.
That's right.
Keeping our heads on a swivel. We don't want to get used to anything.
Looks like a 9.775 for Serena Whalen on bars. That would be a new career high for the freshman.
That is a great start of their lineup. So we look at vault.
This is Drew Aldridge.
Very nice form and good landing on that Yurchenko full. didn't pike down. Definitely can see where some of these strengths in the lineup are starting to come in.
Yeah, best of the vaults so far, and that will begin the first of 3 straight Yurchenko layout fulls. So you've got that 9-9 start value, which will also help pick up the scoring for UNC. All right, on bars, up third for Temple is Madison Brooks.
Nice handstand. Oh, gets a little arch in that toe on, toe off. Unfortunately, does have to turn and come down. You know, and here's where we talk about some little things that, you know, get in our way on events. And, you know, this is going to show that, you know, Temple's going to need some of that mental strength that their coach has been talking about. If she has the fall, they're going to need the rest of the lineup to hit, adding a little bit of pressure that, you know, no one is looking for.
Yeah, here becomes the situation, right? Is it, oh no, here we go again? Or, you know, is the team able to, you know, rely on the training and shake this one off? And it's just been a tough go of it so far this year for Maddie Brooks, who's a really good bars worker. She has been in and out of the lineup. This is just her third routine, but she did not hit either of her first 2 in the first 2 weeks of the season. Came out, has worked her way back, and so you know it has to be disappointing for her to not be able to get a hit here.
It is, and coming off of being in a lineup where you didn't hit those first 2 routines definitely adds that pressure, and it might have gotten to her a little bit.
Let's continue over on vault.
Another nice Yurchenko full, great distance from the vault and good height, and nice form in the air. So another good vault and what kind of landing they are looking for.
Let's see if we've got some more scores in here. North Carolina has that vault from Drew Aldridge, the first of the Yurchenko fulls, got a 9.875. That is a new season high by a 10th, so great vault for Aldridge.
Yeah, and as they wait for this score and have a 5th one, you know, that will leave, you know, Shaylin St. Brice feeling good in that 6th spot, confident, and will hopefully have a good vault from her. Yeah,
that's exactly what Marie Denick is trying to do as the first-year interim head coach at UNC. She has done a really, really great job. I mean, to have this team 24th in the nation, leading the Eagle right now. They have had all of their scores so far this season, a 195 or above. They competed on Friday night at Towson, had a 195 flat. They won a quad meet. That was the good news. Bad news, it was their season low score. But, I mean, if you're in the 195s, between, you know, a low to high 195 in all 5 of your meets so far, you're doing fine, and you've got a chance to really build those scores in the back half of the season.
Definitely the start that they were looking for this season, and like you said, Kevin, trying to build on that, and you can see the potential, you can see the capacity that they have, so I'm sure good things to come in the remainder of the season.
Looks like a 9.825 was the 4th score for Summy, and here is Hallie Thompson.
Oh, some of those issues with having almost too much power. She had great form, great distance, but did have a bit of a hop back on that.
On bars we go. Tori Edwards for Temple.
Nice Tkachev to start. Free hip handstand into that bail. A little bit of an arch, but was able to save it very nicely. Short on that handstand a little bit as she winds up for this dismount. Very nice double layout. Gets that stick. Really fought for it. Definitely the routine they're looking to bounce back from.
Yeah, they're used to having Tori Edwards at the top of the bars lineup, and Josh Nielsen, the head coach for Temple, made some changes this week. Among them was dropping Tori down, but you like having a senior in the position that she's in, because if there's someone to follow a fault, she is pretty much as steady as it gets on this event.
Yes, she seems to be one of those gymnasts that you could put her anywhere in the lineup, and she gets the job done. She knows what needs to happen, so that is a great person to have in your lineup.
So we'll see if that gets Temple back on track on bars. Meanwhile, we have 1 vault left for UNC. Still waiting on a score right now for Hallie Thompson. And then we'll have Shaylin St. Brice in the 6th spot. And St. Brice is ready to go.
Just a little bit slow off of that table. You can see the height she has in that Yurchenko full, but does pike get her chest piked down a little bit, so there'll be a deduction on that. Got a Ginger over there on bars for Temple, a little bit close to the bar, but is able to save it. Does not bend her arms too much, and now she's winding up for her dismount. Gets a nice handstand before. Line full into her double back. Looks for that landing. Slight hop, but very nice.
And so Temple is, after that hit routine from Caitlin Gray, Temple is one routine away from being able to drop that fall and make it out of this bars lineup pretty much intact at the midway point.
Yes, we have Ariana Castrense back in this lineup, looking to, get more into the all-around, get her feet wet in all the events now, so it's good to see her back. We know that she has a good routine, so she's looking to finish out this lineup on a strong note.
Yeah, and that's going to plan for Josh Nielsen, right? He said about the midpoint of the season is when we want her back in the all-around, and this is the midpoint for Temple, and then, you talk about the upgrades, getting her back in that the Yurchenko double full-on vault, and really kind of turn her loose and have her competing at her absolute best when the postseason comes.
Yes, he has been patient because with the gymnasts of this talent, it is hard to wait, but knowing it will be worth it once she is, feeling full strength in that all-around and adds that difficulty, it's going to be really great for Temple.
Score for Hallie Thompson, who was up fifth for UNC, was a 9-7. Still waiting on the final score for Shaylin St. Bryce. So we'll know UNC's vault score. They've already improved on their bars total, and we're going to get an exhibition vault here for UNC, but we also have Ariana Castrense on the uneven bars.
Exhibition tuck full there on ball. We've got, unfortunately, a fall from Castrense on bars on that Tkachev, so definitely tough for Temple to finish out the rotation with another fall.
Boy, you feel like they're so close to even having the fall. You hit two routines back to back. You start to say, okay, this is going to be the time that we can kind of put that behind us, and you can just, they're right below us. You can kind of feel that air being sucked out of the Temple team, and it is that kind of deja vu all over again feeling as Castrense will mount here and finish out her routine.
She'll go. Oh, and she will redo it, and she will do the blindfold into the Tkachev. Nice handstand into her bail, and into that very nice handstand there as well. She gets ready to finish up with her double layout. Let's go. A bit early, but is able to get it to her feet. Unfortunate that, you kind of wish you could forget that first fall since she technically started the routine over, but unfortunately, another learning lesson for Temple on bars, really working to try and figure out what they can do with the lineup to make all of those routines and hit at least, the 5 routines that you're going to need to count.
Yeah, so that score for Castrense will have to count for Temple. And we will see what it is momentarily. We do know after Shaylin St. Bryce scored a 9.675 in the anchor spot, UNC goes 48-8. That's a vast improvement from what they did on Friday night. They struggled on vault down at Towson, scored a 48.275. It was their low event of the night. So they picked that up by 5 plus 10, so over half a point better than what they did on Friday night. So I think that Marie Denick will feel pretty good about what she saw from her team in rotation too.
Yeah, definitely. When she was, honest about them really needing some work on vault, so it's great to see that they're able to have that improvement and with the turnaround as quick as from Friday into a Sunday meet.
Well, Temple has to count a fall on bars. UNC able to surge ahead. We will step away. We'll have some updated scores for you when we come back with the third rotation. Temple will be on beam, UNC on floor when we continue here on Owls TV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp and Casey Addis with you here on Owls TV. Third rotation just a few seconds away. Temple, after counting a fall on bars, scores a 47.975 on that event. It has been a struggle for them, and unfortunately for the Owls, the struggle will continue at least one more week here as they go below a 48. UNC takes the lead after a high score on vault of 48.8. 97.4 at the break for UNC. Temple 96.925. Casey, really neither team is going to be particularly thrilled with how those first two rotations went.
No, and it's hard because vault is one that most teams look to, build their score on. Beam is always beam. It's you never know what can happen. So they're going to look for some really good floor scores for both teams, and everyone's going to be looking to hit beam because that's going to really make or break the meet for both teams. Both are very strong on beam, so it's going to be very exciting to see what they're able to do in the last two rotations.
Yeah, if there is a flip side of those struggles that we have talked about today on bars for Temple, it's that they have been very good on beam, and they've been very good at compartmentalizing, right? The falls on bars have been what they are, but they really, if you look at the rest of their meets, by and large have not let it affect them. They do put that behind them pretty quickly. They have a solid beam team, and they are really good on floor. So they still have a chance to have their best scores out in front of them tonight, and this routine will go a long way toward determining that as you get Jordan Oster trying to lead off and kind of reset the tone here for Temple.
Yes, she is a gymnast that is able to get up there, do what she needs to do, and hit her routine. So looking to stay consistent for her and start off with strong beam rotation, and hopefully they are able to put bars behind them and really continue the rest of the meet strong.
So the beam lineup for Temple will be Jordan Oster, followed by Delaney Guerin, Brooke Donabedian, Renee Shugman, Juliana Rowland, and Ariana Castrense in the anchor spot. For UNC on floor, they will be led off by Kate Green, followed by Juliana Wheel, Shaylin St. Brice, Hannah Nam, Brianna Greenlow, and Elizabeth Colton.
All right, looks like we are getting started here on floor. Beam's just waiting for judges there.
So here we go as we will move over to floor and check out Kate Green. Season best score on floor of 9.775, and Jordan Oster is going to be on the beam momentarily as well.
Very nice double pike as a first pass for Green, and a solid landing.
And so we'll zoom out here to try to get you as much of both beam and floor as we can.
Jordan starting out with her series. Handspring layout, step out, very solid. Split jump into tuck full. Gets that jump pass on beam. Cat leap into that front toss. Was a little off on the cat leap, is able to pull it out. Over on floor, we had 1.5 to a front layout. And a nice finish, nice routine from both gymnasts. Definitely a lead-off routine that Temple is looking for. Continue to build that energy and that confidence that they were losing a little bit on bars. So good to see for them. And then a nice solid hit for UNC on floor.
Yeah, Oster is so good on this event. She is a great lead-off because she is consistent. That's, of course, what every coach wants in their lead-off beam routine. But she can also score, too. And, I think she's one of those gymnasts that is really unselfish by being in that part of the lineup. If she were down in that 5 or 6 spot, she could probably be close to a 9-9, beam worker for Temple. She has a season-best 9.8, and we'll see what this one scores. And a good opening routine from Kate Green. 2-pass routine. And we're going to see a lot of that from from both teams tonight. Both coaches have kind of embraced some of the flexibility in the scoring code to be able to take advantage, get your bonus elsewhere, pack the bonus into those two passes, and really comes from, as Marie Denick was explaining to us, place of safety. Remember, this wasn't a typical off season. You had a lot of gymnasts that missed a lot of training time. If you can get to that 10-0 start value and not have to put 3 passes out there, there's not a lot of compelling reason to do it right now.
That is very true, and I think you and I both agree that we love those 3-pass routines, but coming off of a year with such a break in training, 2 passes truly makes a difference when it comes to endurance for these athletes. So it is definitely something that many teams are embracing. We're going to continue to see it year over year, even at every school that we've seen probably has 1 or 2 routines that have that 2-pass routine, but they are able to pack in some very nice difficulty, so that is what is important.
And a 9.65 will be the opening score on floor for Kate Green. So we will have Juliana Wheel up second for UNC. Still waiting on a beam score for Jordan Oster as Delaney Guerin stands by.
All right, first pass. Very nice and powerful double tuck. Heading into her second pass with front full, front layout. Very nice. Looks like we're going to see a 3-pass routine here.
And meanwhile, Delaney Guerin up on the beam after an opening 9.725 from Jordan Oster.
Guerin getting ready to start with her acro series. Handspring layout. Was just a very, very slow start for that right off the bat with that first back handspring. So just looked like she could not get the power she needed to hit that. Unfortunately, a fall that they're going to look to hopefully not have to count.
Yeah, and Guerin is another one of those. We mentioned Castrense one. Delaney Guerin was another one of those gymnasts that was out of training for so long, 6+ months, and so they've been working her back. She has not yet hit a beam routine, which is kind of shocking to say at this point in the year that she has not had a hit set yet, because she is so good on beam for Temple, and that's a big weapon when they get her back. It's just not there right now, and that triple series is tough on top of it, and you can see just by that second back handspring, she was so low and so off-centered. She really had no way to pull that back.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, because I know they were excited to get her back on beam, and I know that they've had her work a lot of routines in practice, and she's definitely working to get that consistency, but definitely an unfortunate second routine there for Temple.
Waiting on a score for Juliana Weil over on floor.
Looked like a 9.7. Didn't quite get the turn all the way over here.
Yep, 9.7. Right. I got a little bit better. We're 6 feet apart, so I got a little bit better angle than you. 9.7 for Weil after the 9.65 from Kate Green. And now pressure on Temple once again after this time an early fall in the rotation. You've got Brooke Donabedi and a freshman to try to follow that fall from Delaney Guerin.
It's definitely a pressure situation to be in, especially for a freshman, but we have seen success from her this season. So, as we've mentioned, they have a strong beam lineup, so looking to hit the rest of the routines tonight.
Well, over on floor after a 9.65 and a 9.7, trying to continue building those scores is Shaylin St. Bryce.
heading into her first pass. A nice handspring 1.5 front layout. You can see the power she has because she did not have to run too hard into that first pass, so that's always nice to see.
And over on the beam now for Temple is Brooke Donabedian.
Starting off with a very nice front aerial to back handspring. Beautiful form she has. We've got a double pike. Looked a little low, but she pulled that around fast on floor, so she's able to get a nice landing there. Got a side tummy on beam. Nice landing. Looking to finish out this routine strong. Double stag ring jump is not easy, so when you look away from the beam, that's always very impressive. We've got a round off 1.5, pulls that around, didn't quite get that height, but I do believe that she made it fully in that 1.5, so a solid routine coming off of a fall.
Yeah, and the freshman has been impressive on this event. She's been as high as a 9.825. May not get back there on this particular routine, but Temple needed a hit. They turned to a freshman in a pressure spot, and she gets one. That's big. So Temple opened with a 9.725 from Oster, then a 9.05 on the fall for Delaney Guerin. You had Donabedian there. We'll get a Renee Shugman, Juliana Rowland, and Ariana Castrense as the back half of the beam lineup. We are waiting on a floor score for Shaylin St. Bryce after the 9.65 for Kate Green and the 9.7 for Weil. St. Bryce gets a 9.7 as well, and so now we go to the back three in the UNC order, beginning with Hannah Nam, followed by Brianna Greenlow and Elizabeth Colton. I believe all of the rest of them are two-pass routines here for UNC.
Yes, going to be looking for those double pikes and those acro passes. Starting here with a double pike. Excellent height and a nice landing.
And as the judges are talking over on beam, we'll actually get to stick with this routine for a while and take a look at Hannah Nam.
Very nice leap pass. Now this is the point where the gymnasts get to breathe a little bit while they put in their dance as they wind up their routine with the two passes. So we've got another back 1.5 to a front full, which is extremely difficult. Even with two passes or three, that is a pass you do not see often in college gymnastics. So great to see her land that on her feet.
A good routine there from Nam, who has been as high as 9.875 this year. She had a 9.725 on Friday. And spoke too soon about Donabedian. She got a 9.825, so that actually matches her career best. She got a 9.9 from one judge and a 9.75 from the other. So very good hit routine for Temple. And now Renee Shugman is on the beam for the Owls.
Looking to keep building off of those scores. Still some pressure here for the Owls, but definitely have them feeling a little bit better after that routine. It's a little bit of a wobble there on that front aerial. She'll go back, try to work that again into her series. Very nice front handspring to front aerial to that scale. A nice switch for her, smart switch, doing the front handspring instead. Definitely something I'm sure she's worked on in training. Another side tummy, beautiful landing. Wolf jump to straddle quarter, getting some of those jump elements in. Just looking to finish this up with a good dismount. Round off 1.5. Very nice. Slight hop forward, but another solid routine. And she could have, let that wobble in the beginning get to her, but she was able to, take it back, take a breath, and finish the routine strong.
How about the Temple freshmen? You get a fall in the second spot. Freshmen in 3 and 4 go out and hit big routines for Temple.
It's great. When you can have freshmen that get into lineups early in their career, they're able to handle those situations, and they're doing it well.
Yeah, now the Owls have some veterans in Juliana Rowland and Ariana Castrense in the 5-6 spots, and may be able to salvage this beam order as we go over to floor now. Up 5th is Brianna Greenlow.
Brianna started with a very nice double pike, good landing. And she has a unique second pass here, which we love to see. She's got a front through to that back 2.5 twist. Very difficult. Also another pass you don't see often, so very nice. Nice switch half to that Popa. And another very nice routine for UNC on floor.
Getting ready to go back over to beam now. It was a 9.65 for Renee Shugman.
A little lower than I think I expected, but, a couple wobbles here and there, and again, not a fall. So that is what they were looking for.
And now they will turn to Juliana Rowland. Bridgeport transfer. She's good on every event, but she is excellent here. She has gone 9.875 as her best score this season. She did score 9.9 back with Bridgeport.
I love seeing the way she attacks the beam, even in her arm movements, her dance. You can see the confidence she has in herself, which is definitely important at this point in the lineup. Very nice side aerial. You could tell she thought she was off, took that step back. She's clearly a veteran on this event, definitely showing that tonight. Switch leap, split jump into that standing layout step out, just packed with difficulty, and the confidence is there. It's, like you said, definitely some veterans here in the back half of this lineup and what they need. Finish this out with a round off 1.5. Step forward, good power. Solid routine.
Yeah, best one for Temple by far on beam, and I am so sad that we missed the first pass from Elizabeth Colton on floor because it was just a beautifully, perfectly stuck double tuck to open the routine.
She is at the end of this lineup for a reason, and, an all-arounder for the team. Unfortunate fall on bars today, but, the talent is there, and you can just tell in watching her. Just beautiful form throughout in this routine. And both that first pass and that Rudy to end. So just an excellent routine for them. With that switch side to that Popa to finish out the routine.
And folks, you got to stick around because Elizabeth Colton, who may end up finishing the meet over on beam, she is the beam anchor for UNC. She's ranked number 1 in the nation on that event, and so that is one of the highlights today is for us to get to see her in person. She's averaging better than a 9.9 this season on that event, so we are really, really excited to see her there. But first, we will get Temple's beam anchor, and that is Ariana Castrense.
Starting out with that full turn, getting some of the nerves out of the way before she heads into her series. Got that one-arm handspring layout, step out, beautiful. Often I speak too soon in saying how much I love her series and how confident she looks, so now I can say a great series, one of the most difficult that you can do, so good to see her staying on for that. Got her switch half to that flutter jump. Finishes up with that round off. Beautiful double full, little hop forward, but on and off the beam quickly, finishes out and rounds off that beam lineup where Temple will not have to count a fall, which was extremely important for them at this point.
Yeah, that's the big story there is that early fall from Delaney Guerin comes off the books as they got in the 9.825 from Donna Beatty and a 9.65 from Renee Shugman, 9.8 from Juliana Rowland, and then we're waiting on the result there for Ariana Castrense. We will also see an exhibition beam routine from Temple's Hannah Barry. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Colton finished up with a 9.75. So UNC, again, it's kind of how the day has gone. All 5 counting scores were between a 9.7 and a 9.775, so they're not doing anything to hurt themselves, but we haven't seen those high-end scores the way they can be. They have not been consistently up into the 9.8 range. In fact, all day today, they have just 3 routines that have scored 9.8 or better. The high mark, a 9.875 on vault from Drew Aldridge, but you get the sense that they just haven't quite put it all together yet. The good thing for UNC is they're going to, by far, their strongest event. They're 11th in the nation as a team on beam, of course, helped out by the fact that Liz Colton is number 1 in the country.
Yep, they are definitely ending on their strongest event, hopefully able to, pull out some of those scores they're looking for. But again, you think about them coming off of a long weekend of traveling, meet on Friday. It's tough and it's tiring to do that back to back. So that could be part of some of the scores, and then just not you're going to have your best meet every single day. So they're going to look to finish strong, but definitely a score that may be a little bit disappointing for them. Very nice back handspring layout, step out, strong and powerful. That cat leap into that front aerial. Very nice landing. Straddle jump to that straddle 3/4, just couldn't quite get around enough, does fall off. Again, exhibitions where you definitely want to prove yourself, it adds a little bit of pressure. So definitely some of those nerves maybe got to her at the end because the beginning of the routine started out very strong. And she'll finish with that gainer front pull off the beam. Despite that landing, you can see the potential and the capacity that she has in that alternate spot.
And with that, the 3rd rotation has come to an end, so we will go to the 4th rotation with these teams within shouting distance of each other. Temple puts together a beam set, now trails by only 3/10 as we go to the final rotation. North Carolina with a 146.1, Temple a 145.8. Both teams going to their strongest event. The Owls on floor, the Tar Heels on beam, when we continue here on Owls TV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp, Casey Addis with you as we head to the final rotation here at McGonigal Hall. These two teams separated by 3/10 as UNC leads with a 146-1. Temple 3/10 behind with a 145-8. Both teams will finish on their strongest event. For UNC, that is beam. For Temple, that is floor. A quick reminder, we are back with you for two meets in one weekend. Friday, March 5th at 7 p.m. Temple will take on George Washington, and then Sunday, March 7th at 4 p.m. will be Senior Day. Temple will take on the newest member of the Eagle, Long Island University. So a pair of Eagle meets coming. Those meets will be on ESPN+. We are happy to have you with us on owlsports.com or Owls TV today. We will be back on our usual home for Temple Gymnastics, ESPN+, for those back-to-back meets the first weekend in March. So we hope that you will join us then. But Casey, we've got a good one right now. Even though it's not the highest scoring meet for either team, if you're Temple, you've got a top 25 team here in your building, as we said. You've got the number 24 team in the nation. You're down by 3/10. You're on your floor. This is more or less everything you could ask for to try to knock off a signature win in your first year in this new Eagle Conference.
Absolutely. Other than bars, they have stayed in this meet, and I know they're excited about that. And entering this new conference and being competitive is definitely important for them, so they should feel good about this meet either way.
And we will start the fourth rotation on the balance beam, where UNC is the number 11 beam team in the nation, and they will be led off by Emery Summy to start here on beam.
Summy starting with a very nice back handspring layout step out, already showing those solid skills for the Tar Heels, so excited to see how this lineup shapes up.
She started off with a season-high 9-8 on Friday night's quad meet at Towson, so trying to make it a 2-for-2 weekend here as we come wide and show you Tori Edwards, Temple senior, getting the floor rotation started for the Owls.
Edwards starting out with a front double full, nice E-pass, little wobble on the landing, almost steps out of bounds, saves it. You got Summy on beam with a side Summy, and another nice acro skill for her. Finishes up with that round off 1.5, solid start to that beam.
I was going to make a side Summy joke, and she's probably heard that so many times in her life. I'm just going to shut up, and I'm just going to let that one walk. We'll go over to Tori Edwards here.
Try not to be, too cliche over here.
We'll let that one ride. Great routine, good start for UNC. They'll be followed by Brianna Greenlow, Jamie Shearer, Hallie Thompson, Hannah Nam, and Liz Colton. Elizabeth Colton, the number 1 beam worker in the country, to finish off the meet for the Tar Heels.
We're heading into her next pass. Back 1.5, beautiful front layout. Toe right up to that line, keeps it in. Solid routine. As I said, that front double full landed a little low, but a very nice start for the Owls.
And the Temple floor lineup behind Tori Edwards is Renee Shugman, Brooke Donabedian, so those two freshmen who were back-to-back in the beam lineup, back-to-back here on floor. Ariana Castrense, Juliana Rowland, and Faith Leary. Temple is ranked 29th in the nation in floor exercise this season. It is their strongest event. So both teams should be feeling mighty confident. Of course, the one thing that you miss is the crowd here. When you go to the fourth rotation, you get the home team on floor, you got all that energy. There are plenty of cutouts in the stands, but it's not quite the same.
Definitely missing, weekends in here with the fans all the way up to the Temple and the ceiling over there. So definitely an unusual season. I'm sure for a lot of these girls are used to having family members, friends in the audience. So definitely a change for them.
And it will be an opening at 9-8 for Emery Summy on beam. And up now is Brianna Greenlow.
A nice 9.825 on floor for Tori. So both start offs with nice scores there.
So we'll come back wide and get you both routines here. Greenlow on the right side of your screen, and entering the left side of your screen will be Temple freshman Renee Shugman.
Very nice handspring layout, step out on beam. Looking at floor, we've got the back 1.5 to a front full. That pass that I said is difficult, she made it look easy, plenty of height. Over on beam, we saved that side aerial, turn to the side. whether it was supposed to be a side semi, but was able to save it without a huge wobble. Nice leap series on floor. Looks like UNC winding up for the dismount on beam. Round off 1.5. Slight hop, but another solid routine for them. You can see the confidence in their skills for sure. A very nice double pike on floor, completely controlled landing. That was a beautiful routine for Temple.
Yeah, great job on both. And talking about UNC on beam, Marie Denick said, I'm always impressed by teams that can score the best on beam, and she said they just have such a confident attitude. It's really just we're going to go out and we're going to hit beam. That's all there is to it. There's really not a lot of thought there, and I think the less you can think probably in a lot of ways the better.
We joked like, wow, that must be nice, because so many coaches feel the absolute opposite. They kind of like to turn away on beam. It is a very stressful event. Anything can happen, but it is extremely impressive just to see the way the gymnasts are even going into their routines. They just have a nice flow, and you can see that they definitely have done plenty of routines, and they have hit enough routines in competition to feel that confidence.
The judges didn't agree on that routine from Greenlow. It ends up right now at a 9-7, 2/10 of separation on those scores.
Yeah, and, the side aerial had that little bit of a wobble there, but it's always interesting to see how that discrepancy is.
Yeah, so a 9-8 and a 9-6 work out to a 9-7 there for Brianna Greenlow, and up third is Jamie Shearer.
Shearer at the handspring layout step out is able to save that, struggled to get that back foot on the beam, but pulls it forward, so is able to stay on with only a slight wobble.
Sugarman scores a 9.825, so Temple is making up ground here. Again, they started this rotation trailing by 3/10. They are trying to close that gap. Brooke Donabedian stepping onto the floor, opposite Shearer on beam.
And Shearer with the switch leap straddle quarter. Donabedian going into her first pass. Beautiful Rudy layout step out. Personally, one of my favorite passes. It's beautiful. And Shearer finishes with a nice gainer full off of beam. Brooke just with some beautiful toe point that you really get to notice on floor throughout the leaps and the dance. It's great to see.
We talked about, obviously, the COVID offseason being so tough for the Temple returners. Try navigating this as a college freshman, too. And I give Temple's freshman, UNC's freshman, of course, a world of credit. Any college freshman competing this season after having, the oddest offseason in the history of the sport. Temple's freshmen have put up some really big numbers and big routines tonight.
They have, and she's had some pressure put on her, so we're glad we got to see that. Floor routine ends with a front double full E-pass. Extremely difficult, gets that bonus. But definitely, for these freshmen, I can't even imagine what their preseason looked like, and trying to navigate school and practices and the team and just being so disjointed. So it's great to see that they are still able to come together so well.
A little bit of extra time here for Hallie Thompson, trying to do anything to stay loose over on beam as the judges take a little bit extra time on this score for Jamie Shearer. And a big cheer comes up from the Temple team for the score for Brooke Donabedian, so we'll get that number here momentarily.
Love to see that reaction. Gives us a hint. Nice 9.875.
And that'll be a new season and career best for the freshman Donna Bedian. And Temple has come out of the gate hot. 2 9.825s and a 9.875. So the Owls are doing what they need to do. And it looks as if it will be a 9.675 over on Beam for Shearer.
And that seems, again, just a tiny bit low, and a score that I'm sure they're, could be surprised about. Just some slight wobbles here and there, some slight adjustments that end up adding up throughout a beam routine.
So on the beam, Hallie Thompson. On floor, Ariana Castrense.
Nice triple series, able to really control that. A very nice double out on floor. Lot to go back and forth with because two great routines we are watching. But a beautiful double out on floor for Castrense. And on beam, I wanted to say I remain impressed how these girls are able to make the adjustment on the routines. Even if something's a little off, it does show their ability to feel confident on beam even when something is a little off.
Yeah, so that's a really creative cover for that,
yes,
picking that
yes.
Front leg up or front foot up.
Some gymnasts will let that get in the way and they might pop off, but she's able to save it. Finishes with a nice round off of 1.5 as we watch Ariana Castrense head into her second pass. Finishes with that half to that Rudy. Beautiful. Great to see her back on floor, looking confident, looking strong. So that's a great routine for the team.
Yeah, Castrense, that is her floor debut this season, but she has gone 9-9 in her career, and she is capable of bringing that kind of number here to the Owls. And keep in mind, she's only fourth in this rotation. You got Juliana Rowland and Faith Leary behind her. So the Owls really have some firepower. And Josh Nielsen said basically, they had a great floor going. Remember, we just said they're 29th in the nation. This is their best rotation of the four, and that was without Castrense. And what do you do as a coach? Who do you take out?
Yeah, he said they are probably going to have to move things around, change it up each meet, but that is actually nice. You're saving bodies throughout the season. You're able to build that consistency, allow each gymnast to get on the floor, so it's great to see.
9-9 for Ariana Castrense in her 2021 debut. She got a 9.95 from one judge.
That is definitely a highlight for the team tonight. It was great to see. We talked a little bit about wondering if that double layout would be in the routine, and I have to say that looked cleaner and a little bit stronger than some of them last year. So very impressive, to say the least, and definitely something she'll hopefully be able to build on this season.
Meanwhile, perfect timing for UNC. They put up their high beam score, a 9.85 for Hallie Thompson. And remember, they've got Colton sitting there in that anchor spot who has just delivered time and time again, including a 9.925 on Friday night at Towson. She has been as high as 9.95 this season. But before her, it is Hannah Nam on the beam for UNC, and momentarily Juliana Rowland will step out for Temple. These are the fifth routines with the anchors in the on-deck spot.
Start off with a handspring layout step. Again, just a little bit of a balance check there. Able to stay on, which again is very important and shows that strength, but just some slight balances here and there in each routine. Beautiful double pike, sky high, good landing. It had a nice side aerial there on the beam. Looking to continue with that confidence. Not letting little adjustment get the best. Beautiful jumps for Rowland on floor. That's that front layout, front full, foot right to the corner and stays in. And we've got another made routine for UNC on beam, really showing us what the number 11 beam team in the country looks like with that consistency, with that confidence. So, as we said, looking forward to Elizabeth Colton rounding out that lineup. as Roland heads into her third and final pass. Got another double tuck. Pulls that out, looked a little slow, but still made it around very nicely. Very solid routine.
Now, and you can see Temple just feeling it right now. This is, I mean, what a different feeling and mood it is to watch this team, which was almost dead silent on bars after that second fall from Castrense, to now able to go out there with confidence. They're clearly having fun. They're building off of each other, and so we will see what this means going into the final routine on either side. Elizabeth Colton and Faith Leary, and with the scores as close as they are right now, it almost feels like just mano a mano, trading blows back and forth as Temple tries to make up this 3/10 deficit, but they are putting up some huge scores.
All right, we've got Colton saluted and up on beam.
So here is the number one beam worker in the nation, Elizabeth Colton, to close out the meet for UNC. Meanwhile, it was a 9.85 from Juliana Rowland, and momentarily, Faith Leary will anchor floor for Temple.
Starting out with a beautiful handspring layout. Step out, strong and solid. It's a beautiful switch leap. Straddle quarter. That front aerial. Complete confidence in her landings as Leary heads into her first pass. That Rudy, it looks like foot was right on the line. Could not tell if they called it. Cat leap to switch side, just absolutely beautiful form and toe point throughout this routine. Just gonna finish out with that side aerial to back full, sticks the landing. I mean, if that doesn't just show what number one in the country is, I don't know what does. So that was absolutely beautiful and enjoying every second of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what. She just gives away nothing. Every element is just so good. That was a great routine from Elizabeth Colton. The question is, will it be enough for UNC to hold off this furious Temple charge on floor? Faith Leary trying to finish up.
With another beautiful sky-high double that this team has. They are really feeling it on floor, building off each other, like Kevin said, and it is a joy to see them finishing out with this positive attitude.
So either way, Temple is going to feel very, very good about how floor went. The question is, when all the dust settles and the numbers are added up, do they get a victory as well? They started this rotation trailing by 3/10. We will have exhibition routines for both teams here in this final rotation, which is nice. It actually gives us a chance to get all the scores in, make sure that we're situated as well. We see at least one 995 coming in. Two 995s.
Why not just the 10? Give it to us, right? Let us see it. But that was well deserved.
995, matching a season best for Elizabeth Colton. UNC goes 49-150 on beam. Huge finish.
As a nice front aerial to start off the routine.
This is Kate Green in exhibition for UNC.
Very nice handspring layout step up. The form was great. That landing, she really, something that probably would have knocked most gymnasts off, but she was able to get that, it's going to be a deduction, but, it's always positive knowing you can fight for your landing.
Faith Leary scores a 9.85. Temple goes 49-3 on floor. That matches a program record for the Owls. It is the third time in program history that Temple has scored a 49-3.
No better way for them to end this meet. Just really what they were looking for to finish off. And a nice round off 1.5 to finish off the exhibition for UNC. It shows they have some depth in this beam lineup, I am sure. So it's great to see, someone else getting in there. 1.5 to a front layout on floor. from Grace
Bush.
You know, it's like Coach Nielsen said, they have a lot of depth on floor, so being able to have someone in the exhibition spot is definitely important.
And the other thing that getting Castrense back in is going to do is it's going to give someone each week a rest, which is going to be important, right, to have your real top six in good form going into the Eagle postseason.
Yes, there are not a lot of teams that get to give, you know, some of their athletes a break week to week, so that is definitely helpful and will help them continue to put up scores like this, put up floor scores, so that's going to be very useful for the team. And as Grace finishes out that routine, very nice. You can feel the energy from the team. They're very excited, you know, definitely how they wanted to end the meet, coming off of, you know, maybe not their best bars or beam, but to be able to pick up their score and come into a score that they really can feel good about tonight, especially against top 25 team in a new, you know, program going against Eagle teams. This is definitely a good feeling for them.
Casey, you know, we said it going into the final rotation. Hey, okay, both teams are going into their best rotation of the day. I don't know that we knew that it was going to be that good. I mean, Temple going 49-3, matching their program record. UNC going 49-150, highlighted by that brilliant 9.95 from Elizabeth Colton, who lived up to her billing. She's going to retain the number one spot in the nation for at least another week after that 9.95. UNC goes 49-150, and they do enough to hold on for a victory over a resurgent Temple team tonight. UNC final score 195-250. Temple final score 195-1. So the Owls finish a 10th and a half behind UNC. Good news for the Owls. It is a season best 195-1. The first time they have broken the 195 threshold here in 2021. UNC, it's tough. It's a Sunday, as we said. They competed at Towson on Friday night. They've been on a bus. They've been road warriors all weekend. It's not their season high score, but they keep up what I think is a very impressive streak of having all of their counting scores this season 195 and above. And I think this is a team that shows that they have what it takes to perhaps compete for an Eagle championship this year.
Absolutely. And for them to, you know, even score higher than they did on Friday when they might have been a little bit fresher, that just shows what talent they have and what mental strength they have to be able to come in and remain in that 195 when they kind of had a slow start on bars, for them to pull out the rest of the meet and pull out a win. It's definitely impressive. Well, that will do it for us. As a reminder, the next time that we are back on the air with you is for a double weekend here in Philadelphia. It'll be 2 weeks from now, Friday night at 7 p.m. Temple will take on George Washington. Saturday, March 7th at 4 p.m. Temple will take on LIU. Casey and I will both be here. We'll be over on ESPN+, but you can go right back here to owlsports.com, follow the link to subscribe and join us over there. So we will look forward to having you for that dual weekend. And if it's anything like tonight, Casey, we're in for a lot of fun, and that's why Temple's in the Eagle, right? You get these great meets week in, week out. Absolutely. We are excited to see what the rest of the season brings, and excited to see some teams we haven't seen in here before, so it's going to be very exciting. Number 24, UNC gets the victory tonight, 195-250 for the Tar Heels, 195-1 for the Owls. For my partner, Casey Addis, and all of us at Owls TV, this is Kevin Kopp saying thank you so much for watching. Good night, everybody, from McGonigal Hall.